Hey everybody, it's Staccato. Welcome back to my channel. Usually I do hip-hop reactions on here, but this time I want to recommend an album I like. Try to put some of my favorites out there and hopefully convince y'all to check some of this stuff out. So today we're doing UGK's 5th studio album called Underground Kingz. I guess it's a self-titled album. Usually by their 5th albums, rappers fall off a little bit. At least I think you could name almost anyone, and their 5th album, if they even make that many, just isn't so hot. But I don't think that's the case with UGK. So these guys have been rapping a long time. They're from Texas, and by the time this album came out, I think they had been rapping about 17 years. So that's kind of nuts, man. Not a lot of rappers last that long, and definitely not a lot of them are able to make albums I would recommend after that long. But yeah, man, these guys can. So UGK, if you don't know, Pimp C, Bun B, those are the guys. Pimp C died not long after making this album, so RIP to him. I don't know which one of them is my favorite in terms of their rapping ability. I like them both, and on one day I might go, yeah, I think MC's better. He's got a lot of energy. And then on another day I might go, yeah, well, Bun though, he's got that voice I like a lot. He's got a nice flow all the time. So I can never decide, and that's how you know that a group is hot, right? Because with a lot of other rap groups I definitely have members I like more than others, but that just isn't the case here, man. I like them both a lot. So anyway, let's discuss the album. So this came out at a time when hip-hop was more into its poppy bling phase, I'd say. And this album kind of is that way, but not really. And that's why I like it a lot, and I can still listen to it anytime now. Starts off Swishers and Dosha. This is one of those intro songs. It's like, hey all, here's who we are, what we're doing right now. It's all about their lifestyle, living rich, smoking weed, all that good stuff, right? And it's extremely catchy, and definitely a song I will always hear. They're switching off verses as they usually do, and yeah, it's absolute fire. All right, then after that, it goes into International Players Anthem, which I hope y'all have heard. It's a huge hit, a very well-known song, and it features Outkast, Andre 3000, and Big Boy are on it, and they do an excellent job. But honestly, I like the UGK guys the best on it, as usual. I mean, I love UGK, y'all. They're one of my favorite rap groups of all time, really. And this song is a story song, kind of. It's got Andre talking about how his friend is getting married, but he'll always be a pimp. So it's a funny song, a lot of smart lyrics on it, a lot of interesting wordplay and rhymes, and the way Andre holds on to words or adds them at the start of the next line, I like a lot. So it's definitely a song you gotta hear if you haven't. And I'd be surprised if you haven't, but hey, that's why I'm making this, right? So after this, I'm not gonna talk about every track on this album. Y'all don't want to hear that. I'm just gonna give highlights and talk about the album as a whole. So this is a double album, if you weren't aware. It's got 2 discs, and like most double albums, I'd say the first disc is a lot stronger than disc 2. That's just how it is with almost every double album I've heard, except, I don't know, maybe All Eyes on Me from Tupac, but we don't need to talk about that now. This album, though, is, I think, unique in that I like every single track on disc 1, and the first half of disc 2 is also really strong. I don't think the album starts to fall off until the latter half of disc 2, and that's okay, honestly. This album is long enough. It's got everything you want, really, and I can't fault it for that. But it's definitely not as tight overall as the earlier stuff. But hey, again, it's a long album. So first disc, yeah, I mean, I like everything on here. Highlights are The Game Belongs to Me. Definitely catchy song. I love the way that they harmonize in the hook on that one. I think there's about 4 different voices overdubbed, and man, it sounds awesome. I love to sing along to that one and to each of the harmonies as it goes. That's always fun. Yeah, I think that was a radio hit, so yeah, I imagine that you've heard that one, even if you haven't heard this album. Like that, it's a fire song. The remix is actually on the first disc, and the non-remix, or the original, is on the end of disc 2, and I don't like that version as much. I can understand why the remix is on the first disc, because yeah, it's absolute fire. Now, Gravy, the song after that, is an example of why I like this album. There's a lot of variety on this, and this song is an example. It's a more mellow song. It's very relaxed. There's a lot of interesting sounds on it, and you don't hear a lot of hip hop like this one. And it's one of those songs I had to warm up to over time. At first, I would always skip it, but now I always want to hear it, and that's how I am with a lot of this one tracks on this boy. So Underground Kingz, where we're getting back to the hard hitting stuff, the fast rapping, the fire wordplay, the flows, all that stuff. I'd say overall that, I mean, these guys were older at the time. They were 5 albums in, right? I think that their energy on this album isn't as high and as raw, I guess, as on their early stuff, like Riding Dirty. That album is also fantastic. If you never heard it, I'd recommend it as well. But yeah, their energy is still high on this, and it's still good. It's not like they sound washed up or anything. I don't think that at all. And Underground Kingz is an example of that. Now again, I'm not going to go in depth on everything on here, but Ride Hard, Take the Hood Back, love those songs, but very heavy hitting, in your face. I don't skip them. Quit Hating the South is an interesting one. This is definitely a more serious song, I'd say. Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of them on this album, but this is one where I felt like it was very heartfelt. It's all about how, you know, the Southern rappers get a lot of hate, and it's undeserved. And I guess they got a lot of hate at the time anyway. I don't know if that's how it is anymore. Honestly, I don't pay attention to what's happening in the industry. I just like the music, and this song is a good one in spite of me to not really understand a lot about the industry. Yeah, it's a little bit corny, I suppose. It's just all about, hey, you're hating on us, but a lot of y'all are also garbage. There's some funny lines in there as well. But yeah, definitely a good song. All right, now we get to Heaven, one of my favorites on this whole album, possibly my favorite song. This one is just, I like the hook. It starts off with the hook right away, and then it's just fun to rap along to, and it's got a nice message in there. He's reminiscing about his homies that are dead, you know. TJ Screw is one of those. I think he was a big name in the Texas hip hop scene, and he died a while ago, but UGK mentions him a lot in their stuff, which I appreciate. And it's also about spreading a positive message to kids and hoping that they can help make a better community, which I'm all about. So the disc ends with, I'll call it Chill Homies Don't Die. Also an extremely catchy song, good way to end a disc and also lead into the next one. Okay, disc 2, I don't have as much to comment about on this one because, again, I'd say about half of this disc is just okay. And honestly, I'm not as familiar with a lot of the stuff on this one because I'm not as into it. But the first half is really strong, starting off with How Long Can It Last? And an absolute hard hitter, one of the best songs on this album. Definitely demonstrating their versatility. It has Charlie Wilson on it, singing a lot, which you don't hear a lot on this album, and it just has a lot of variety. It's one of those absolute bangers that you just have to hear really loud, and it's just excellent. So other highlights off this disc are Stop and Go. This song is hilarious, man. It's all about how they got the best cars and they're pulling them up everywhere and showing them off. It reminds me of a song off of their first disc, which I don't think I mentioned, Chrome Plated Woman, which is also about, I think, Pimp C's car, and it's just hilarious, man. He's comparing it to a woman and just talking about how she has her top down in the hot weather and all that shit. It's hilarious. But yeah, Stop and Go is a very energetic song, something that you might hear in a club, and I'd say the best example of UGK doing a style that was popular at the time, and it works here. So yeah, thumbs up on that. All right, the last highlight on this one is Two Type of Bitches, which, man, this song is hilarious. So it's all about how women are either down or they're not. Basically, that's the whole message. And the reason I like this album is that this guy who I never heard of, I don't know, maybe he's a name y'all will recognize. I got no idea, but I'd never heard of him. He's called Pimpin' Ken, and he does this freestyle at the end. It's not really rapping. He's just going off about what he thinks about women and the different types. I guess he compares them to Coke and Pepsi, which is a whole thing. You just gotta hear. But yeah, man, he is hilarious, and definitely the highlight of that song. So yeah, man, I think that's all I have on this album. A lot of the songs after this, I'm not as into. They're okay. I'll hear them sometimes, but I'm not recommend them as much as the rest of this album. So that's all I got on this video, y'all. I hope you check this album out if you never heard of it. I guess it's old school these days, right? But it's not that old. I'm not that old, right? I don't know. Maybe I am. But anyway, thanks for watching, all. If you like this one, leave a like and subscribe if you want more. All right, see y'all.